Hey, it's SilverDFanng with more YouTube reactions. This time around, we got Moments in Canadian History Sketches by Historica Canada, aka Heritage Minute Commercials. So, breaking the fourth wall. Did this right after doing the German video that kind of annoyed me. So I wanted to do something from my childhood that taught me about my country. And it was a bunch of commercials called Heritage Minutes. We watched a few of them. I hope to do this again in the future. There's so many more that I would love to show you guys. And if you'd like to see more of what I do, check me out, SilverDFanng on Twitch. Enjoy.
When I arrived in
Canadian, so this is Heritage Minutes, Historians of Canada, Asian history.
Canada, there were not many women who looked like me. Not everyone was welcoming.
That's not Canada.
But my husband made a new life.
Did I keep saying?
Here.
Oh, Ducky Grill.
Country. And I thought here I could belong.
The invention of Surrey.
And many others could too. As the years went on, our town flourished. Our community worked together and took care of each other.
I don't know what... So these are all real moments in Canadian history acted out. I don't know what this is trying... What this is
our children grew up
what this is
with
about.
A true sense of belonging. Here in Baldi,
oh,
we built our home.
I don't know anything about Baldi.
And we wanted others to do the same.
Established by South Asian immigrants in 1917, the mill town of Baldi, British Columbia was one of Canada's first inclusive multicultural communities.
I'm a bad British Columbian. I don't know about Baldi, but that's fucking awesome. Not that guy that ran into the other... Well, he's from Toronto.
3, 2, 1, action!
Oh, this is behind the scenes. Okay, here we go. The brief history of the Asahi. Vancouver, Asahi formed in 1914. I don't know about this either. Manager Harry that became the first Japanese-Canadian team to win the Terminal League. Yay! Baseball was our life. People came from all over to see us play. Junji Ito. The guy that made the horror mangas, the Japanese community of Vancouver regularly supported the team. Big community. The Asian won 5 consecutive Pacific Northwest Championships. Nice! This is a world where the Japanese Canadian people had a pathetic existence, but the barriers came down under whenever Asians played ball, which also is actually something a lot of African Americans say about around the same time. Cool. The team was disbanded and the players were sent to... Yeah, Canada also did the Japanese internment camps, not just America. It's a bleak time in our history.
My mother said we had to leave home. The communists were going to take my father away. If my parents were afraid,
yeah,
they didn't show us.
A little.
But we would never forget our escape from Vietnam. We were lost.
By the way, again, these were shown
in Vietnam?
on TV.
We had no home.
Nice to meet you. Family in Canada? I'm Doff.
What's his family?
Nobody wanted us.
Welcome to Canada.
Yeah! Yeah! We saved Vietnamese. I'm gonna take over what that German guy says. If it wasn't for Canada, Vietnam would not be a thing anymore.
Canada chose us.
Canadians opened their borders, their homes, and their hearts to more than 100,000 refugees fleeing persecution after the Vietnam War.
This is still going on, by the way. One of our biggest issues that is we do bring in a lot of refugees, and I don't mean that as like it's bad that we're doing it. It's bad because we have a housing issue. We just don't have the room.
We were home.
But we can't not do it. It's inhumane.
All right.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do know this one, and this one is also not a good moment on our history.
Earn some danger pay. And boat fare for the wife. All you have to do is go down in the tunnel with the nitro and set the charge.
And my wife, you pay both? Okay, I do really good. You see.
That's nitroglycerin.
Now pour it in the hole gently, understand? Any little bump and that stuff will blow.
Damn it, that's the third one we lost this month. Cochran, get another volunteer.
Yeah. So, building the CP rail, which is the longest railway in Canada, we did import a lot of Chinese and Southeast Asian immigrants, like the U.S. did for the West Coast and their train. And like they also abuse their Asian Americans a lot. In Canada, we had a name for them. It's a slur. I don't like using it, but it's called boxers. Literally, they would go to town and be called boxers just because they're Asian. Yeah, the CP rail, Canadians really abused the manual labor. You feel funny.
I went back in again, but I lost many friends. They say there is one dead Chinese man for every mile of that track.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah. I think people like, and again, this was on TV. We did not, we kind of sugarcoat it, but we did not hide away from our dark past. I knew as a young kid, we did some shitty things to Chinese Canadians. Oh, absolutely.
That's what they say.
If you've ever visited Toronto, you've probably at least walked through
visible minority.
Long before the Second World War, Canadian women had already proven their dedication in uniform. First as nursing sisters during the Northwest Resistance in 1885, and later by the thousands in the First World War. Then came 1939. The Second World War broke out, and Canadians were changed forever, not just on battlefields overseas, but in the heart of every town and city. With so many men serving abroad, Canadian women stepped into roles that used to be considered men's work.
Again, this is the same thing in England and America. Unlike American England, our women kind of stayed. They weren't pushed out of the factory jobs. Not fully.
And the war effort roared forward, powered by women. During the Second World War, 4,480 nursing sisters served across all branches of Canada's military medical services.
Yep.
These women provided medical care in extremely challenging conditions, often in field hospitals, converted buildings, general hospitals filled with injured and convalescent servicemen, prisoners of war, and civilians.
Night Blaze!
Or aboard hospital ships, caring for wounded soldiers far from home. For the first time in Canadian history, women's medical roles in the armed forces expanded beyond nursing. One of the trailblazers was Jean Flatt Davy, who became the first female doctor to receive an officer's commission.
Yay! Jean Flatley!
Approximately 60 female physicians served as anesthetists, radiologists, and bacteriologists during the war, some of them overseas.
Lady doctors!
Outside of the medical realm, some 45,000 Canadian women enlisted in the Air Force, Army, and Navy. As more men were needed for combat, Women initially trained for clerical and administrative roles instead filled roles in trades, communication, and intelligence work. Mi'kmaq elder Margaret Pictou-la-Billois, for example, became a photo...
ZZZZ.
So that name tells me that she is French-Canadian and also First Nations.
Reconnaissance technician with the RCAF Women's Division.
Damn!
Hanging out of airplanes
Pew,
to take
pew,
photographs
pew, pew,
of
pew.
roads and bridges, while her brothers and future husband served overseas.
Pew, 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 pew.
On the home front as well.
That sounds insane,
women
by the way.
stepped into roles that had previously been reserved for men.
It is the most
With
French
so many
native
men
Canadian name
overseas,
ever.
Canadian factories were short of labor, and women answered the call. By 1943, approximately 261,000 women were involved in the production of war goods.
Yeah, ladies in the factory. Woohoo!
They made up over 30% of aircraft industry workers and nearly 50% of works in gun plants, including roles in munitions inspection. One of the most famous was Veronica Foster, nicknamed Ronnie the Bren Gun Girl. She became the face on posters and ads showing that building weapons wasn't just tough, it was patriotic, important, and even glamorous. Her image helped shift public ideas about women's roles. These factory jobs...
For Americans, she was our Rosie the Riveter. She was on all of our propaganda and, like, World War II merch. She was our Rosie the Riveter.
were critical. Without them, Canada wouldn't have been able to keep up in providing supplies for its military and allies. Beyond the factories, women preserved the domestic economy and morale. They grew victory gardens, raised funds for hospitals.
I will admit that is also an American thing, because meat, dairy was so, like, it would get transported to the soldiers. Yeah, people both in Canada and America were trying to, like, they were told, like, build gardens to make sure you get produce.
Ambulances and hospitals, and volunteered for organizations like the Red Cross and Federated Women's Institutes. Another group of women were shaping the war from the shadows.
We had a bunch of spies.
At a top-secret training and communications center near Whitby, Ontario, called Camp X, women like Evelyn Davis and Winifred Davidson, members of the Canadian Women's Army Corps, decoded encrypted messages and transmitted intelligence to and from Bletchley Park, London, New York, and Washington. They worked around the clock, 365 days a year, handling high-speed Morse code and punch tape systems. Their work was so secret, even they didn't know the full extent of their own mission until years later. The Second World War transformed the role of Canadian women in uniform and at home.
Yay, women!
From field hospitals to shipyards, from decoding messages at camp. From field hospitals to shipyards.
Why did they make everyone look like Rosie O'Donnell as the factory workers?
From decoding messages at Camp X to serving on the front lines of medicine. From factory work to relief work.
I do like that this artist gave everyone a big thighs and a nice badunkadunk.
They showed courage, resilience, and skill. Though many women returned to traditional roles when the war ended, the impact of their service set the stage for later changes about equality, opportunity, and what women could do in Canadian society. Their contributions were indispensable to victory, and their legacy continues to inspire.
Okay, one more. And I want to do a classic that I grew up with. So, if you watch me long enough, I actually reference this often. Is this the right one? I think this is. So this one, I literally reference in, like, when I talk about Canada and the origin of Canada, because it's a fun fact, and I learned it as a kid on TV through this ad. Oh, and I can tell you for a fact, these are all native guys and not just Italians in makeup.
What's he saying, Father?
Commandant Cartier is saying this nation's name is Canada.
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 Beg pardon, sir, but the word he used, I think it really means those houses down there.
No, believe me, I know the word. It means nation, and Canada is its name.
Canada.
But I'm sure it means the houses, the village.
Yeah, we're named Canada because Jacques Cartier and some other French bullshit people misunderstood the natives for their village and thought they were talking about the whole country. By the way, I don't think any native tribe at that time had a name for the whole nation because they didn't realize it was a whole nation. Yeah, our name literally just comes from an Algonquin word that means village. Or that village. Yep. The second biggest country in the world by landmass is named because a French dude was too full of himself to admit that he was wrong. That sounds about right. Thanks for looking at a part of my heritage. Yeah, but Europeans aren't good at understanding anything outside the context of Europeans. At least at the time. I mean, if you look at the East Coast of America, most of your names are just English names, but new. New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire. Not very creative. So I get it. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. Check me out on Twitch, SilverDFanng, 2 N's in Fang. Check me out on Twitter and Blue Sky under the same name. Also TikTok. Have a great night.